So in this video, we're going to talk about how to become a top producing real estate agent and what the heck that actually means. So when you think about becoming a top producing real estate agent, there's really a few factors that you have to master or overcome. At the very least, understand, so then you can start working on those things to become a top producing real estate agent. And also, no matter what field of real estate you're in, so whether you're doing commercial real estate, resale homes, apartment locating, it doesn't really matter the area of real estate, right? As a real estate agent, you can do a lot of different niches, but the fundamentals are always true regardless. So let's talk about what those are right now. And we're gonna keep this video really simple. So the first one we're gonna talk about is, let's say, like competency. You have to be competent. Everyone knows that, okay? If you want people to work with you to help them buy a house or sell their house, they're probably thinking to themselves, this real estate agent ought to know the prices in the area that they're interested in selling or buying in, right? Very, very, very basic stuff. If you're a commercial real estate agent, your commercial tenant or buyer probably thinks you know the commercial rental rates or the prices for commercial buildings, right? So people or your leads, they need to understand that you're competent. That's the easy one, okay? Know your market rent, know the prices in your neighborhood that you're trying to focus in as a real estate agent, right? So the second one here, that's really important. The second really important fundamental in being a top producing real estate agent is, are you a good communicator? Like, do you have emotional intelligence, and can you have effective conversations to make someone comfortable, right? Because it's true that you need to know your market rents, you need to know the prices in your neighborhood, otherwise how can you even be a real estate agent? But you also have to have the people skills as far as communication, right? So the second one we're gonna write, communication. You have to know how to communicate. And then once we list the third one, the last one, then we're gonna get into like how to do these and how to master it, right? But first, before I give you the tactical steps on how to master these fundamentals on how to become a top producing real estate agent, you have to know what they are, okay? So I promise, right after the last one, I'm gonna talk to you about tactical steps that you can actually implement to become good at this stuff, okay? Well, let's recap, okay? You're a competent real estate agent. You know the prices, you know the rental market, you know how to help someone, and you know what price is a good deal, bad deal, average deal, because you're competent. Okay? And then the second thing is communication. You know how to utilize emotional intelligence, read people's body language. We'll get into that strategy in a second. But you know how to communicate well to make people trust you, like that they're comfortable with you representing them. Okay? So that's a whole skill in itself. And then the third one is, do you have a back-end system? Do you have a way to automate stuff, right? So do you have a system to where as your leads are coming through, you have something in place? So we can call this, I suppose, system, really like automation, but do you have a system in place to do all of the annoying follow-up and necessary daunting tasks for you? Because if you don't have this in place, sure, you might be a competent real estate agent, you know how to make people comfortable because you know how to speak well and get them to, garner the trust in you. But if you don't really have a system, you're going to work a lot harder as a real estate agent doing things that you have to do on a daily basis, like text follow-up, emailing people, building rapport through an email campaign strategy. There's a lot of stuff that your work would be way harder as a real estate agent if you don't have like a system in place, right? Another word for this is like automation. So that is very, very important as a real estate agent. So of course, there's a lot of other factors as well in becoming a top producing real estate agent, but these are sort of like three really easy foundational pieces that we can really quickly explain in a video so you understand that they exist. Because once you understand that things exist and what they are, and then you can start understanding how you can become better, okay? So number one, competent. How do you become a competent real estate agent? We're gonna go through the actual ways to get this stuff done, because I want you guys to have like an actual understanding of what to do to improve in these areas, so we're not just filming a video like in generalities, right? I'm so sick of videos teaching in theory or in generalities with no actual guide on what to do, right? So let's quickly go over competency, okay? How do you become a competent real estate agent? Do you have to drive all around your city? Because a lot of people think this, just follow along here. When you first, maybe you know like the truth now, but when you first got started in real estate, okay, you probably thought that you had to drive all around the city, look at houses, look at apartments, look at multifamily, look at commercial to really get a feel. So, I mean, right? Because that's what I thought, and that's what a lot of people think when they first get started in real estate. They first get their license. They think there's this like unconscious sort of belief that we have to start driving around the city to really understand what the market rent and what the prices are. So it's just a common misperception, because once you have performed at a six-figure level as a real estate agent for a long time, what you realize is that the number one tool that's going to get you competent is one of two things. If you're an apartment locator, like a lot of us and are following, it's really using your apartment locating database that's going to make you competent. If you're a traditional realtor, then it's studying the MLS, right? That's the actual tool to get you competent. Now, everyone can make an argument that like driving around your city, all the popular spots, and seeing them at least one time helps, right? To paint a picture in your head of the areas you're going to talk about. But it doesn't really make you competent. 90% of like what's gonna make you competent is studying the actual tool that tells you market rents or house prices, which is the MLS or the apartment locating database. And what's cool about like being a real estate agent is that it doesn't take that much effort to accomplish the first fundamental, okay? It really doesn't, because when you break down successful six-figure top producing real estate agents, you'll understand that a lot of us kind of specialize in like a part of town or an area of town. So it's not like let's just take like Austin, Texas, the capital of Texas, as an example. Okay, if you talk to a lot of very high performing realtors or apartment locators, they're not doing the whole entire city and surroundings. They're usually specializing in like a few zip codes or north of the town or northwest, and then maybe downtown, because everyone knows downtown, right? That's sort of what real estate agents do, which is quite exciting, because once you put in the work in manipulating your database or manipulating the MLS in the areas where you're trying to specialize in, it actually ends up being not that much work to really start seeing a pattern. So of course we could do a whole separate video on how that process would look like, but for the purpose of today's video, we're really just trying to grain into your mind the fundamentals and quickly tell you like, this is how you do it, okay? So number one, if you wanna be a competent real estate agent, say you're an apartment locator, study the apartment locating database. Manipulate your database in a way where you're seeing one bedrooms only for a certain area, and then just start looking at the numbers. What you'll notice, especially in Austin, is that there's a direct relationship between how old an apartment is to the quality of the property. Okay, you'll see that newer properties typically are Class A, and then mid-tier properties are Class B, and then older, kind of uglier, not as premium properties are Class C, and it's a direct relationship by the age built in Austin. It's super easy to do the first step in Austin. Other markets like Boston, it gets harder, but that's a separate video, because it's not a direct relationship with how new the property is to the quality. All right, so manipulate your database. That's how you actually become a competent real estate agent. You don't need to drive around and spend gas and then drive. I don't like driving in general as a real estate agent because it's just a lot of effort. Right? So anyways, I'm trying to move it along. So that's how you become competent. It's not like actually going to drive around. It's studying the tool that tells you market rents or prices. Okay, let's move on. Number two, communication. Communication is definitely a skill, because say you know everything about everything to do with prices. That means you're a very competent real estate agent. But if you're not building this skill on how to be down to earth, make yourself approachable, be friendly with people, over the call, then it's going to be really hard for people to trust you, even though you could be the smartest real estate agent ever, knowing everything about every price of every house or what the best deals are on all of the apartments in your city. That's all well and good, but if people can't connect with you, it's not going to matter. Right? So an example of fundamental number 2, communication, is like, I don't know, let's just make something up, a car, right? You could have the best engine ever in the Ferrari. That's your competency, right? But if there's no wheels, the car is not going to drive, right? You need wheels, right? So the wheels are like the communication, your ability to communicate and connect with your prospects, okay? So you can have an insane engine in this Ferrari, right? Twin turbocharged V10, I don't know, right? But if there's no wheels, you're going to produce all this power, but it's not going to move forward, right? And so you have to be able to communicate with your prospects, get them to like you, so that way you can build trust, follow up becomes a whole lot easier, and then you can really help them with your competency on what the best deals are because you've studied it through the database or the MLS manipulation strategy, okay? Cool. And then really quick, a second really big thing we should not miss is the delivery of your communication. How are you communicating with your prospects, okay? A lot of real estate agents like to just call prospects over the phone or set up their lead gen to where it calls their cell phone. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's easier to do it that way. But what we have found teaching over 500 apartment locators, that's the niche we specialize in. But what we found is that if you can set up your communication channel instead of over the phone into doing a video call like with Zoom or with Google Meet, basically those are the two ones, okay? If you can set up your communication channel that way, it really dramatically improves your closing rate because you can communicate with people not just over voice. It's important to have a good voice, but you can also now turn on the video on Zoom or Google Meet. Now they can see your face, put a face to the name and to the voice, and they can pick up on your body language. There's an interesting study somewhere, I forgot the source, but like wrap this around your mind, okay, if you really want to become a top producing real estate agent. We know communication is important. It's the second fundamental, but there's a scientific study proving, I forgot the source, but it's like 80% of all communication is your body language. It's not really your voice. So while it is important to be well-spoken, clear, build that skill, your body language is huge. So in other words, I don't know, say we have students that are like foreign in our program. We teach real estate agents how to do 6 figures, starting with locating and working their way up into new home sales, right? But understand this from our 5 years of data teaching people, okay? We have students that are foreign with a big accent and they think it's a setback. But once we set them up with showing them how the correct communication channel like Zoom or Google Meet, how that's effective because of body language. The missing piece here is the body language, okay? It doesn't matter if they have a strong accent or not, their closing rate still increases because now their prospects can pick up on the body language piece of the communication, right? And so imagine that. Imagine being a real estate agent. You have a really strong accent. Now you're losing confidence. You're like, I don't know, this is America. It doesn't matter anymore. Just get on Zoom or Google Meet and let your body language do most of it. When you turn on that camera, people see a nice background. You got a nice microphone. Instantly, subconsciously, they're thinking of you as a put together, organized real estate agent just by turning on your camera, okay? Then you're going to speak and be polite, just try. Doesn't matter if you have a strong accent, but your body language does a lot. You know, hello, how are you? It's so nice to meet you. These little things really help strengthen your communication. We see it with hundreds of students. It helps them. Okay? It's good to know that a lot of real estate agents are afraid of like turning on the video on Zoom, using Google Meet to do video calls, but it just really does help your conversion rate because it is a stronger communication channel. Start trying to get away from your phone. I know you can still make 6 figures over your phone, but wouldn't you rather make 6 figures with less effort because the communication channel is stronger with the body language piece included? So you got to start doing video calls. Awesome, let's move on, okay? So the last one is a system, okay? You're a great, competent real estate agent because you understand now it's not about driving around, it's about using the database or the MLS and manipulating it in the area you want to specialize in until you see a pattern. It takes like 5 days. We teach 5 days of manipulating the database to understand your market, okay? That's not a lot of, that's like less than a week, and then you're a competent real estate agent. Number 2, communication, right? Use the right communication channel. It's Zoom or Google Meet, that's the answer, okay? Just set it up well. So now people trust you and you're competent. Cool, you're gonna close people. But do you have a system to where if you're flooded with leads, all of them get followed up with within the first 5 minutes and within the first 2 days? Right? Via email, voicemail drop, text message, you have to set that up. Because think of it like this. If I just gave you 100 fresh leads as a real estate agent, whether or not you're a realtor or an apartment locator, are all 100 leads that I just give you right now, are all of them going to receive a text message, an email, a voicemail drop, so that way you're buying yourself time before you get to them, right? If the answer is no, you have to set that up, because you could be a great real estate agent, you could be really good communicator in an optimized way on a video call, but if there's no back-end system backing you, if I gave you 100 leads, 95 of them, it's gonna take you too long to get to them, right? So then those would be wiped out, right? But if you have a system, you can communicate with all of them automatically and then have them book a call on your calendar organized, right? So perhaps 100 is a crazy example. Perhaps if I did give you 100 leads and you had a good back-end system in place, they're all gonna get communicated and followed up with, and then say 50 book a call with you throughout the month, right? Because you can take 3 or 4 calls a day, right? And so over a 10-day period, that's like 40 of those leads are already booked within your next 10 days on your calendar. The next 20 days on your calendar, that's 80 leads booked, okay? So within the next 3 weeks in your future, if I just gave you 100 leads, if you can't have at least 80 organized on your calendar so you can start doing the Zoom calls and closing them because you can communicate well and you're competent, then that's the lacking critical piece that you need. You need a good back-end system, okay? And so that's basically it. I hope this video was helpful. There's tons of other components into becoming a top producing real estate agent, but in today's video, I hope this helped you. These are very, very major pieces of the puzzle on how you're gonna do 6 figures in reality, not in theory, not in your best dreams and wishes, in reality, how you're gonna do 6 figures as a real estate agent within 1 year is by becoming competent the right way. Stop wasting time touring properties, just manipulate the tool, okay? Number 2, communicate, but with the right channel, video call, because of the body language. It's already proven to increase your close rate. And then number 3, a back-end system. If I gave you 100 leads, would 80 of them actually book a call? That's for you to determine, okay? So let us know if you guys want more help. We're gonna produce more of these YouTube videos. We don't have that much time to get this value out, so a lot of these videos, they have to be quick. We have to teach you quick, 1, 2, 3, and then quickly what to do, okay? But if you guys want step-by-step tutorials A to Z, then check out our website. That's how we can help you the most. Just go to nal.rent. It is super short. That's the actual website. I bet you'll never forget it now. nal.rent or www.nal.rent. And book a call with us. It's free. Okay? Hopefully this was helpful. And we wish you the best on your journey on becoming a top producing real estate agent. Doesn't matter the niche. See you later.